I believe that J.K. Rowling, like her character Hermione Granger, is indeed the brightest witch of her generation. If we measured the power of her spells by how deeply she plants the seeds of myth into the imaginations of children, her only possible equal is George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. Consider what she conjures in just one reader's mind. Last fall, my third grader, Eleanor, finished The Deathly Hallows, concluding the book series. She was left with an empty space in her bookshelf where the next chapter of Harry Potter's story should lie. She had heard whispers about a theater production in the works, the title Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, but little else. So, how is a kid to fill this none too casual vacancy? Start writing her own stories, of course. Over winter break, I came across the beginnings of handwritten manuscripts. I was stunned by how the dialogue felt so true to the characters. I could hear their voices distinctly. I was even more impressed by how Eleanor improvised new stories in the tone, sensibility, and logic of the Hogwarts universe. Her words did not imitate the superficial details, they captured the essence. Rowling has inspired millions of kids to read, and almost as many to write their own way into her universe. And into this curious state, into blind love and jittery anticipation, the rehearsal script arrived for the theatrical production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Hello, my name is Eleanor, and my dad and I are doing a review on Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, based on original news story by J.K. Rowling, a new play by Jack Thorne, and directed by John Tiffany. Let's get into the review.
How did you feel this book held up,
I think it was a pretty good structure at the middle to the end, but I think the first two acts of the book were a little falling apart. What do you think?
Somehow it did catch some sort of momentum halfway through the book, and I did feel and I couldn't tell whether it was me being nervous about it, here we are in a new version, and it's a play, and it's a little bit weird because it's not either the movies or the books. So I did feel like somehow it became smoother in that second half.
How did you feel about Harry's son Albus getting sorted into Slytherin?
It was depressing a little bit.
I was okay with that. I was like,
you were?
yeah.
I mean, where else could he go, really? I suppose it makes sense.
I liked the little touch where, well, it was a big touch actually, that he's Draco Malfoy's son, Scorpius, his best friend. I like that.
Mm-hmm. When you read a book, it sort of has to pass some basic, is it a good book or not quite a good book or a bad book test for you. This screenplay has a bigger job. It has to pass the test. Is it a worthy part of the Harry Potter universe? And do you feel like for you that this screenplay passed that test? Are you glad it's part of this whole story?
I was kind of disappointed when I found out that it was a play, but I think it is pretty good for a play script, because if it was like a real book, then it wouldn't have passed the review, but it's a script, and it just has like the actions and movements in it, so.
Do you have any inclination to try reading this play with your friends? Like when you were reading it, did you think about getting together, like Bailey and Kathleen?
Oh, no. I think that reading should be something that you should do all by yourself in a quiet room where you can just read with nobody around you. I think that. But I do think that is a good question. Some people might want to read a book with their friends, but I'm just not that type of person.
You could do it, but that's not really the same thing that you go to reading for, maybe.
Would you edit the book if you had the choice to?
One thing I think is important to note is that they continue editing the screenplay. Like when they put the play on, what we have is the rehearsal edition. This is what they were using during the rehearsals. And after the rehearsals, they continued to change the play to improve it. They use it night after night. They see the way people react, and they continue to make changes.
I mean, I like the play the way it is, and I know it would be better seeing it, but maybe there could be some things in the script that viewers could change, or people that viewed the play that know what that experience is like. Maybe they could have a part in changing how the script was written, because it might be hard for people that are just reading the script to understand really what is happening.
Mm.
That's the sense I got.
I would love to go see this play. Would you like to see it?
Yes, I would love to see it.
Why don't you ask me what character I would like to be?
What character would you like to be?
Oh, funny that you should ask. I think that the character that I would be most convincing as would be Rubus. I don't even know. Rubius Hagrid. I think that's the character that I would have the most possibility.
Well, younger you looks exactly like Harry Potter.
Mm.
Like you were Harry Potter when you were younger. But now that I think you'd be a more convincing Rubius Hagrid now. But
maybe this is really what middle-aged Harry Potter should look like.
Yeah.
On the whole,
Yeah.
is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up too. I mean, it's a complicated thing going back into the Harry Potter world and wanting it to be alive again and to re-entering it after you think that it's ended, but I think it's worth the risks involved. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so my next question is, did you predict that the character Delphi was going to help them or be a good guy all the way through, or did you predict that she was evil? Why or why not?
Okay, let's see. The elephant in the room, spoiler alert, is that Delphi turns out to be evil. Quite dark.
They'll find out when they read the book. Okay.
And I did not exactly see it coming. I think I am a gullible reader. Dum-de-dum. You know what it was? Is that I wanted there to be like a similar little trinity of like Hermione, Ron, and Harry. I wanted that so badly that I was hoping
you accepted Delphi into that?
Yeah, that I wanted Delphi to be a part of that. I wanted it to be Scorpius, Harry, and Delphi.
But Delphi's like 24.
Yeah.
He's 10 years younger than Cedric.
It's slightly inappropriate, but I think that the reality is I still want that.
I thought that she was going to be good, but I still was like, but that doesn't add up. But I thought she was going to be good the whole way, but I still had my suspicions. Okay, your question.
If you had a time turner, is there anything that you would go back to in your own life and change?
No, because I wouldn't be able to get where I am now. Reading that book kind of made me realize that if you go back and change that thing, your whole life will go